George Plant from Stoke-on-Trent is one of the best young stonemasons in the world. Having competed in the 2007 WorldSkills, he's proved himself on an international stage. WorldSkills competitors are so highly skilled they can carve complex shapes in solid rock with millimetre precision.
It could just be out within a mil or so, and then that's thrown it all out then, you see.
In his workplace, George is used to working to these types of tolerances. It's not just about how sharp your chisels are.
Discipline would be probably the biggest one, because, you know, most of the jobs what you do are always putting up to another piece of stone, so, you know, you can have a guy working next to you who's working within a mil or 2 mil at work, and you could be like, say, working within like 3 or 4, and when you go out on site and fixing the stone and everything like that, you know, the stone could be really off.
The art of stonemasonry hasn't changed much for centuries. Many ancient techniques are still used today. Just
what I've been taught, you've been taught to use your smaller chisels and then work all the way up to your bigger chisels all the way through them. But that's just the way you've been taught, and that's what everybody's been doing for like hundreds of years. That's it, called a punch or a 1/4 inch. You'd use that to rough off most of the waste. Say if you're doing like the big checkout, you'd start off roughing off with that. Once you've done that, you probably work up to your claw then. This is an inch claw, and obviously that you'd have to get within about, say, 5 mil to use that to get all the way down to the lines. Once you got all the way down to the lines, then you could work onto this. This is an 1.5 inches, or you could use like a 2 inch. And that just tidies all the stone up then, you see, and makes it all, gets all your tool finish on and all that, see, and makes it all straight.
Today's option of using compressed air tools may save time, but it doesn't lessen the level of skill required.
There's obviously some different places where you can just rough it all off with the air tool, and when you get sort of tricky places like in the corners, then you pretty much take it all by hand.
And for WorldSkills, every millimetre counts.
You just got to keep checking, but obviously every time you check, you're losing time and not working it, so you've got to find the happy medium of trying to make sure it's right and trying to get all the work done as well, you see. So you just have to do a lot by eye as well to make sure it's because you can tell pretty much when obviously you're going under by just the angle of the chisel and everything when you're working it, you see. So.
Over the 4 days of competition at WorldSkills, George has to produce an intricate and elaborate carving, as well as cutting accurate metal templates to be used on a much larger workpiece. The stone used is Italian marble, not something that George uses every day, so he's had to learn some new techniques.
It's Carrara marble, it's from Italy, and it's alright, I've got used to it now. I've worked like about 7 or 8 blocks of it now, something like that, so it's alright, but I've got the little air tool that I use as well, what I can cut all the lines in. Before I didn't have that, and all by hand, you see, so it takes like 2-3 times as long with just going over it with a little air tool, you see, so it's a lot easier.
And the approach to the task taken by the competitors differs from one to another.
I just looked at the drawing and saw where most of the moulding was, because some people like working the 2 sides at the same time, and you get rid of all your marking points. You can't really square off. I've always been taught to do one side, get it right, and then move on. So obviously you can work off that side, you see, because obviously if you've still got rough side on one side, you can't just square off and measure off. Well, I noticed at the end I had like an hour or so left to just touch it up and everything like that, but everybody else was still rushing about trying to work it.
After working on the project for 4 days, it's a relief to finish. But George's skill level and his time management has proved himself against the best in the world.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard piece. I got there, so it's alright.